What's up guys, it's National Master Dem Apples here, back again with another video, and today I'm going to be going over a rook and pawn endgame that you must know. Now, this position is a pretty well-known draw in chess. So the reason why this is a draw, and this is the most fundamental position we can get to, right, is that white can't do anything, right? He can't move his rook, and then black will take his pawn, you know? So the only winning plan is to get the king here, move the rook out of the way, and then promote the pawn, but that's not as easy as you think. Say white just goes here, okay, black's going to check you. It doesn't really matter what black does as long as he stays on this file to protect this pawn. And so white can get as close as he wants to trying to promote the pawn, and a long time ago this was thought to be a win for white, but turns out it's not a win, because black can go check. And you might be like, okay, well, I'm just going to chase the rook back around all the way here, right? Well, that doesn't really work like that, because at the end of the day, black can always just go back up here. And this is a dead draw because black just maintains pressure on this pawn. The only thing black has to not do in these kinds of positions is play a move like, say, after king to f3, king to f7. This is a huge blunder and a well-known one as well, because after rook to h8, this is such a nasty move. Why is this? Well, white threatens to promote the pawn next move, let's just say it like that. And after rook takes queen, rook takes rook, and white should win the resulting rook and pawn endgame. You can take a look at my previous video for that. But this is a winning endgame for white, and nothing black can do about it. So he takes the pawn, that's like his only choice. I mean, he could give some checks, but it doesn't really do anything, right? So he takes the pawn, and now we go check. What does this do? Well, it's a skewer. It's just a straight up skewer, and white is going to win the rook and the game later. So we know that this position's a draw, right, at the very beginning. But if black slips up like this and moves his king anywhere, except for these couple squares, white will win. Let's take a look at this same position, but altered a bit. Now here, this is an easy win for white. Why is this an easy win for white? Well, white has an f-pawn. If white had a g-pawn or a h-pawn, the game is still a draw. Why? Because black's king can just sit here. But the reason why this isn't a draw is that white will push his pawn up the board here, right? Black someday is going to have to take that pawn to stop it from queening, and the second that black's king moves off the file, white will go around with a check and promote his pawn, or he'll go around with this skewer idea. So let's see how this works, right? White can go like f4, and after check, he just moves his king and just keeps pushing the pawn. So it's a pretty simple idea. I mean, the two positions are very similar, but in this case, this does not take much brain power. You just promote the pawn and win. So with these two concepts in mind, right? If you're the defender, you just stick your king on these two squares and never move them. When white's king gets here, you give him a check and then just go back to pressuring this pawn. If you're the attacker, you can only win if you have an f-pawn out, f-pawn, or further out. Just because you're up two pawns doesn't necessarily mean you win the game. If you have a g-pawn or an h-pawn, you probably don't win either. So let's use what we've just learned to complete this chess.com drill. We have a very similar position here. Again, 2 pawns to 1 pawn, but it's important that we have an f-pawn. Now, the question is now, which pawn should we trade? Well, the thing is, we don't want to be stuck with an h-pawn. We want to be stuck with an f-pawn, right? Because at the end of the day, the f-pawn is the one that can deflect the king. If we trade off these 2 pawns, the position is still a draw. Why is a draw a draw? Well, black can just keep his king here, and he will never lose. So it's important that our goal is to trade this pawn for this pawn. So let's start with king to g3. It goes g5. That's kind of aggressive. And I'm going to go h4 right away. Why do I go h4? Well, I want to get rid of this pawn, and I want to get rid of this pawn. Notice how I wouldn't go f4, right? Because after takes, this is just a draw, because this pawn is not queening. There is no way I can get the king out of there. So h4 is key. And I'm just going to take back, and I'm going to show you why the position with the f-pawn is winning. Like, okay, you can be an engine all you want, right? But I'm just going to push my pawn. This takes no skill at all. Like, Look at me, look at me. I'm so skillful. I'm the best chess player alive. Okay. I'm probably going to go for let's go for king f7. Why not? f6. And in this case, he didn't even try to go after my pawn because the engine, which by the way is on maximum, knows that it's losing. Now I just gotta be a little bit careful here, but I should have the dub here. Let's go for king to e6, because why not? I'm gonna walk my king back actually because I realized I messed up a bit. And he goes rook here. It seems like he's got me under hold, right? He's got both pawns covered, but in reality he has absolutely nothing covered because I have this nice move rook to e8, which apparently is a missed win. I had rook to h8 check, but I think this is cleaner because now I get into a rook endgame and now I can demonstrate how to win king and rook. So I'm just going to cut off some squares from the opponent's king. Just shrinking the box further. Again, you get a nice demonstration now, I guess. Rook f5. He has no breathing room whatsoever. It feels fun to like abuse a computer for once. I think I'll give him a check here. And yeah, very precise, very nice win here against the engine. Nice. So that's how you win these positions, coming from a very fundamental endgame position, right? The one that you need to know the most. And you just build upon what you know to solve bigger problems. This isn't even like a hard one, but you build upon what you know to solve problems like these. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.